One night I was on an investigation and I was in boiler room number 4. And I remember I was almost in a daydream state and I saw something out of the right peripheral vision. And then when I looked, I saw the shoulders, neck, and head of this 18-year-old crewman. And he floated toward me, maybe stopped about 4 or 5 feet, and he smiled. And then I saw him kind of float back and dissipate. Now, there is a historical photo of him. What I saw matched that photo absolutely, completely. The very first time I saw the Queen Mary was from the back seat of a car. And I just remember staring at that ship and I said, I will be back one day. That day came in 2005. And I try to explain this in the books that I've written about the ship. Words really don't do it justice, but the first time that I stepped on board, I felt like I've been there before. I felt an instantaneous connection to the ship, almost like a soul connection. I just felt like I've been there before. Everything was familiar. And I didn't know at that time, but later on in my, because I've been researching heavily the history, the paranormal, pretty much everything on the Queen Mary for about 20 years now, there were former crew, former passengers, even current visitors that also have that feeling about the Queen Mary. This grand ship was launched on September 26, 1934. Her Majesty Queen Mary of Teck christened the ship. That was the first time a reigning Queen of England ever named a merchant ship. May 27th, 1936, that was her maiden voyage. And so again, Southampton to New York City via Cherbourg. She carried in her 31 years of service celebrities, members of the aristocracy, dignitaries, business moguls, students, you name it. She still to this day holds the record for carrying 16,683 troops and crew combined. Winston Churchill, who traveled on the ship during the war, he was instrumental in increasing that troop capacity. He said that the Queen Mary, along with her sister ship, the Queen Elizabeth, helped to lessen the duration of World War II by about a year. She resumed passenger service until she retired in Long Beach in 1967. After a month-long cruise, known as the Last Great Cruise, it was her 1001st voyage. Right before she sailed into Long Beach, she was at Acapulco and then sailed up into Long Beach on December 9th, 1967. 2 days later, was removed from Lloyd's Register of Ships, handed over to the city of Long Beach. And since that time, she opened in 1971 as a museum, hotel, tourist attraction, you name it. I have written 3 books about the Queen Mary that are sold on board. I've researched the history and the paranormal of the ship for about 20 years, and I've had numerous experiences that I cannot explain. The Queen Mary, and I think mainly due to her history, there's other reasons as well. It's one of the most haunted spots in the entire world. Some of my best paranormal sightings have occurred on the Queen Mary. I've seen numerous full-bodied apparitions, former crew, former passengers, shadow figures have been spotted on board that I've seen, most often in the former first and third class pool. A lot of the energies on board are resident spirits, so to speak. So one in which, and she's very beloved, her name is Jackie, and she's about 6 or 7 years old. We don't know her origins. It's thought that maybe she tragically drowned in the second class pool, which is no longer there. That could be, but for whatever reason, she's very intelligent, very active. She was my very first paranormal sighting back in 2005. I was staying on A deck. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning. I decided to go walk just around the hotel decks. I remember exiting my room, turning left and going forward. Something said turn around, so I turned around. And in the middle of a hallway, there was this little girl about 6 or 7 years old wearing a light blue, or what looked to be like a light blue nightgown. She just looked at me, and then her hand went up and she kind of waved a little bit and smiled. I had no idea yet. I was just starting my research, so I didn't really know who that was. Well, then as I got to really know the ship, I realized, okay, my first sighting was Jackie. She's often experienced in the former first and third class pool, but people have seen and heard her throughout the ship. Another well-known spirit on board the Queen Mary, and I'm not going to say his name just out of respect for the family, because the family does not want any of us to disclose his name, although you can find it online. He was an 18-year-old crew member hailing from Skipton, North Yorkshire. He joined the Queen Mary in March of 1966 as a fireman and bilge cleaner in the number 3 boiler rooms. He sadly and tragically passed away on July 10th, 1966 in the aft engine room. They found him wedged and crushed tragically in watertight door 13 on the starboard shaft alley side. I'm not going to get into exactly what happened because it's very sensitive, but either way, many people, many visitors, even crew, current crew, have engaged with him in spirit form. They've seen him, they've heard him, myself included. Now, I've had many encounters, but one night I was on an investigation and I was in boiler room number 4, and I remember I was almost in a daydream state, and I saw something out of the right peripheral vision. And then when I looked, I saw the top half, so I would say shoulders, neck, and head of this 18-year-old crewman. And he floated toward me, maybe stopped about 4 or 5 feet, and he smiled, and then I saw him kind of float back and dissipate. Now, there is a historical photo of him. What I saw matched that photo absolutely, completely. But people have seen him in the aft engine room, again, all over the ship as well. People have sometimes felt their hair tugged, or maybe someone, touched their shoulder. That can happen as well. And I'm going to say something here that some people may think is a little wonky, but this is just based on 20 years of spending numerous hours on board. And I'm not the only one to say this. I'm just one person, but there are others that believe this as well. I think the RMS Queen Mary, the ship itself, is sentient. So I think that the ship being sentient, there's this beautiful interplay between the ship as almost one gigantic spirit, and that of her resident energies on board, and they constantly charge each other. And that's, I think, what makes the energy reported on the Queen Mary very consistent. One thing I want to say is there's a lot of equipment that's used in the paranormal research field, and in my opinion, I'm just one person, right? Less is more. And so I think that a lot of these gadgets, a lot of them are environmental monitoring that go into monitoring like electromagnetic field, temperature, radiation, like Geiger counters, vibration, you name it. You got to be careful with those types of equipment. Even an EMF meter, if you get a spike by itself, that doesn't really tell me anything. So the point I'm making is, as a paranormal researcher, don't just rely on one thing. Rely on a culmination of things, especially yourself. I get asked a lot, what is the best piece of equipment? My response to that is ourselves. Ourselves with our senses. We are the best pieces of equipment. So pay attention to your senses, pay attention to what you're feeling during an investigation. Make sure to note that down, because you never know when that could be relevant later on. I advise all of us, each member, to do their own individual protection, but then as a team, as a group, when we get together, we will do a team almost grounding session. And then we also have a statement of intent that we say to the energies, especially before doing any sort of audio experimentation. Just something simple like, for example, hi, this is Nicole, and my friend Allie here. Allie is the co-director of the team. We're here just to get to know a little bit about you and the history of this beautiful place. We come with respect. You don't have to talk to us if you don't want to, but we would love to hear from you. And then we also say, if we're not hearing you. Please don't think that we're ignoring you. Sometimes it's hard for us to hear with our naked ears. That's why we have these devices and gadgets around. They help us to hear. So just something, a positive statement of intent. A grounding exercise that I do, and everyone's different. Intent is everything, right? Intention is everything. So everyone visualizes differently. But what I envision is myself sitting in a chair like I am now with my feet planted on the floor. And I envision my top crown chakra opening. And I say, the only energy that's allowed in right now is energy that will serve me in my highest good, energy that is positive, energy that is protective, and envision that white, pure light infusing down your body and even into your extremities as you go, and then out through the bottom of your feet. And just going in with a positive frame of mind, with the golden rule in mind. What you put out, you will get back. So if you put out loving energy, positive energy, you will get that back. But if you're going to go in and provoke and be provocative, which is horrible, and people still do that, it's terrible, I would advise not to do that. My advice, whether you're a seasoned investigator or just starting out, don't go and do any sort of investigating if you're not feeling well. Even if it's like sleep deprivation, or let's say you have a headache, coming down with a cold, or getting over an illness, I would advise being in the best place physically, mentally, and spiritually. And when you're in that place where all three of those are at their best, that's a good time to investigate.